No drama discipline. The whole brain way to calm the chaos and nurture your child's developing mind. From the authors of The Whole Brain Child, Daniel J. Siegel, MD, and Tina Payne Bryson, PhD. The dual goals of no drama discipline. Effective discipline aims for two primary goals. The first is obviously to get our kids to cooperate and do the right thing. In the heat of the moment, when our child is throwing a toy in a restaurant or being rude or refusing to do homework, we simply want them to act like they're supposed to. We want them to stop throwing the toy. We want them to communicate respectfully. We want them to get their homework done. With a small child, achieving the first goal, cooperation, might involve getting them to hold your hand as they cross the street, or helping them put down a bottle of olive oil they're swinging like a baseball bat in aisle 4 at the grocery store. For an older child, it might mean problem solving with them to do their chores in a more timely fashion, or discussing how their sister might feel about the phrase, fat-butted lonely girl. You'll hear us say it repeatedly throughout this book. Every child is different, and no parenting approach or strategy will work all the time. But the most obvious goal in all of these situations is to elicit cooperation and to help a child behave in ways that are acceptable, like using kind words or putting dirty clothes in the hamper, and avoid behaviors that aren't, like hitting or touching the gum someone left under the table at the library. This is the short-term goal of discipline. For many people, that's the only goal, gaining immediate cooperation. They want their kids to stop doing something they shouldn't be doing or begin doing something that they should be doing. That's why we so often hear parents use phrases like, "Stop it now," and the timeless, "because I said so." But really, we want more than cooperation, don't we? Of course we want to prevent the breakfast spoon from becoming a weapon. Of course we want to promote kind and respectful actions and reduce the insults and belligerence. But there's a second goal that's just as important. And whereas getting cooperation is a short-term objective, the second goal is more long-term. It focuses on instructing our children in ways that develop skills and the capacity to resiliently handle challenging situations, frustrations, and emotional storms that might make them lose control. These are the internal skills that can be generalized beyond the immediate behavior in the moment, and then used not only now, but later in a variety of situations. This internal, second major goal of the discipline is about helping them develop self-control and a moral compass, so that even when authority figures aren't around, they are thoughtful and conscientious. It's about helping them grow up and become kind and responsible people who can enjoy successful relationships and meaningful lives. We call this a whole brain approach to discipline. As we'll explain, when we use the whole of our own brain as parents, we can focus on both the immediate external teachings and the long internal lessons. And when our children receive this form of intentional teaching, they too come to use their whole brains. Over the generations, countless theories have cropped up about how to help our children grow up right. There was the spare the rod or spoil your child, and its opposite, the free to be you and me school. But in the last 20 years or so, during what's been called the decade of the brain, and the years that have followed, scientists have discovered an immense amount of information about the way the brain works, and it has plenty to tell about its loving, respectful, consistent, effective discipline. We now know that the way to help a child develop optimally is to help create connections in their brain, their whole brain, that develop skills that lead to better relationships, better mental health, and more meaningful lives. You could call it brain sculpting, or brain nourishing, or brain building, whatever phrase you prefer. The point is crucial and thrilling. As a result of the words we use and the actions we take, children's brains can actually change, be built as they undergo new experiences. Effective discipline means that we're not only stopping a bad behavior or promoting a good one, but also teaching skills and nurturing the connections in our child's brains that will help them make better decisions and handle themselves well in the future, automatically, because that's how their brains will be wired. We're helping them understand what it means to manage their emotions, to control their impulses, to consider others' feelings, to think more about consequences, to make thoughtful decisions, and much more. We're helping them develop their brains and become people who are better friends, better siblings, better sons and daughters, and better human beings. Then, one day, better parents themselves. As a huge bonus, the more we build our child's brains, the less we have to struggle to achieve the short-term goal of gaining cooperation. Encouraging cooperation and building the brain, these are the dual goals, the external and the internal, that guide a loving, effective, whole brain approach to discipline. It's parenting with the brain in mind.